Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing something a little bit different. Instead of a normal Minecraft thing, we are doing a tutorial. So the thing you see behind me is what we're going to be building today. It is a mining machine that makes it a flat surface. So this isn't going to be like mining for diamonds or anything like that. This is more if you want a perfectly flat surface that you don't want to dig out by hand. If you've seen my Create mod series, you'll know that I did this in the episode that came out on Monday. I basically just fully cleared a mountain so that I can start building my factory. But I think that's enough talking for now. We can get on to what the heck is going on here. I'll put in the description a bunch of time codes on when the actual building will start. But before that, I'm just going to walk you through what is going on here so you kind of know what's going on. To start the entire thing, all you need to do is press this button here. And it will go along, mine stuff, and keep going until eventually these timers run out. This one here lasts, it's a short timer just to show you what's going on, 15 seconds, and then it stops, and then it comes all the way back to the start. That's what this thing is still doing. It's bringing it all the way back. Once that happens, this powers, and we can see this in a second. There we go, it powers, it scoots it over. And after that has been scooted over, it will here restart this process and also power this dropper. So let's watch this restart and you can see it continue. There we go. And once this happens one more time and this gets powered, this dropper will be powered, which then powers a system to bring it all the way back and then move it up. Generally, what we're doing here is we're just going forward, back, slide it over, forward, back, slide it over. And then once it's all the way at the end, way over here, we're bringing it all the way back, and then we're going to bring it up, and then it's going to go forward and back and over. And it keeps repeating that process until it gets to the very top here, and hopefully your mountain or whatever you're clearing is completely cleared. The only thing that needs to be changed on a, I guess, user by user basis are these timings here, and I'll go through it during the tutorial when we're building. But it really is pretty simple, and I think it took me 20 minutes to build once I had all of the drills and gantry shafts and stuff. So it really is pretty simple. You just have to get the timings. Without further ado, I think let's get to the tutorial itself. I am just going to tear down this big old mountain, and in my scenario, I am facing, as you can see in the top right minimap, I am facing northwest. So that is the direction I'm going to be building it. It will work in every different direction and orientation, but some of the redstone links and stuff are going to be a little bit weird if you're building it from a different direction, so that's just something to keep in mind. I will also have a general estimate of the resources you need down in the description. To start, we're going to need to decide where we're going to mine. Let's say I want to mine this block all the way this way and all the way that way. If that is the case, you want to have a 1 block diagonal gap, and then you place your first gantry shaft. The vertical gantry shaft that you're placing, then you just need to build it all the way up until you get to around about the height of whatever thing you're trying to take down. So obviously if you have trees on top of your mountain or whatever, you will need to bring it up to that height. So for me, that's definitely above. So we're pretty much good. Just because it's fully automatic and I'm not doing this manually, I'm not going to make it perfect. But if you want to, you definitely can. Next, we are going to put in the first gantry carriage. So attaching to the tall pillar that you built, you're going to place one facing, at least in my case, I'm facing west. And this is the one where the mining machine is going to be moving horizontally. So we're going to build another gantry carriage going forward and backwards from this direction, but this one is going horizontally. And again, when we're building this, you will need to have a straight line and have it be at least 3 blocks. So if you have blocks in the way in the first block past the gantry shaft or the second one, these have to be removed in order for this to work. As just a quick example of what I mean here, we're running into this big old mountain, and in order to continue going forward, we need to remove at least 3 blocks total here. So like this. and I'm just going to go to here. But if you need to keep going through like a big mountain, you need to clear out the entirety of this 3 wide section. Next, we are going to put our next gantry carriage right here. So on the gantry shaft that we just built heading that way. After the gantry carriage, we're going to now just build the shaft along here. Again, if things get in the way of this, you will need to remove them, but only for this block section. So as you can see here, we are running into our first obstacle, and I would recommend just punching out a hole through the entire thing here up to as high as you can go. There we go. So that is as far as I'm going to build it. And as you can see, I just have the 1 gap of blocks that I've mined out, and that should be it for all of the mining that we need to do manually. Once we're back at the starting point here, what we're going to do is put down the final gantry carriage that we need facing up like so. And now what we can do is put in the drills and the storage. For your world, you can do anything for the storage. I'm going to use barrels just because it's a little bit easier, but you can use vaults, chests. If you're doing a different mod pack along with Create, you can use any storage in that. It really doesn't matter. The area that we're going to be covering is going to be 8 by 8, so 64 total. You will need 1 extra barrel to connect to this thing, but other than that, you are good. And I recommend putting in the drills first, just because they're kind of annoying to put in. If you shift click them onto barrels, they will face the opposite direction. So you kind of just have to like place them normally from the ground up first. After that, you can go 8 across. 7, 8. There we go. And then 8 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we can just fill that in. There we go. Once those are all in, we can throw in the storage system. Again, I'm just using barrels, but you can use really anything that you want. Once we have all the barrels in like this, we now need to get our super glue and glue this whole thing together. So I'm gluing the barrel that is connected to the gantry shaft. You do not glue the gantry carriage, because if we break this, it already has glue on there. So glue the 1 barrel to everything else, and then glue all of these things together like this, like 1 big block. To start, I think we can just set up with powering it. We're going to need a vertical gearbox, so just like this, and then a Gearshift. Next, we're going to put down 3 gearboxes like so. We're going to put a clutch on the right-hand side and a sequential gearshift on the left-hand side. With the sequential gearshift, you're going to want to switch this to turn to move, piston, pulley, or gantry, up this to 8 meters, and reverse this speed. After that, we're going to put 3 gearboxes down like so, and then you're just going to route in your power. So for me, I'm going to use a creative motor. Obviously, you can't do this. You can do anything from water wheels to steam engines to windmills. It really doesn't matter. It just goes in here. Obviously, the faster it goes, the faster your entire mountain is going to get removed. So try to make it as fast as possible with either a rotation speed controller or increasing it with cogwheels. Next, we can get started on redstone links. So you're going to put 2 redstone links here on the base of this vertical shaft, and 1 here at the base of the horizontal shaft. What we're going to put here on these 2, we're going to put a gantry shaft in the red square, and this 1, we're going to put a gantry shaft in the blue square. We're going to right-click all of these with a wrench to turn it to receive mode. After that, we're going to put another redstone link here with a gear shift in the red square. Again, this must be right-clicked with a wrench to turn it to receive mode. Then we are going to put another redstone link on the sequential gear shift, again with the sequential gear shift in the red, and turning it to receive mode. Another redstone link with a clutch in the red square, also in receive mode. That is the entire receiving circuitry done. Now we can get on to the actual logic here. I have, just for your reference, 15 blocks between here and where I'm going to be starting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I recommend you do the same just so that you can follow along correctly. On this 15th block, we're going to remove that and just place a button like so, and then a piece of redstone dust. We're also going to connect a redstone link to this, put it on receive mode, and put a button in the red there. What are you doing? After that, we're going to put a pulse repeater here on 2 ticks, and then we're going to put 2 pieces of redstone dust here. We're then going to put 3 pulse extenders down here. Depending on how far your mining system is, you can change these. I recommend starting at 5 minutes for the first one, and 4 minutes for this one here, and 20 seconds for this one here. This means that for 4 minutes and 20 seconds, it's going to keep mining forward. This is going to take up the most amount of time. And then for the remainder 40 seconds, where this is still powered, it's going to come back. Depending on how far or how big of a mountain you are making, you might have to change these numbers. But again, they're really easy and it's pretty inconsequential if you need to do this. After that, we're going to place 2 more redstone links down. One with the Gearshift, so it should be the same as this one here, but obviously not on receive mode. And then one with the Gantry shaft in the red as well, which should be identical to this one and this one. After these are set up, we're going to put a pulse repeater here on the same amount of time, 5 minutes, as this one here. These always have to be the same. After that, we're going to put a pulse extender there on 10 ticks. We're then going to route some redstone here with a pulse repeater on 15 seconds. Then we're going to put a pulse extender here on 8 seconds and a pulse repeater here also on 8 seconds. We're going to put a block here and 2 redstone links, and we are going to put a sequential Gearshift in one. It should be in the red, identical to this one, and then a Gantry shaft here in the blue. So it should be the same as this top one. Then we're going to put a dropper here facing to the left and a hopper facing back into this dropper. In the dropper, we are going to put some amount of items. So depending on how many times this thing needs to move over and move over and move over is the amount of items you need in your dropper. You can either do some math to make it the perfect amount of times you need to move over, or you can just guesstimate. Likely 48 is going to be enough, but if you have way more or way less than what I have here, it's again, the exact numbers are in the description and I'll put them on screen now, then you might need to change this. What you can do is in the top right hand side, there are coordinates, at least for me. If you do not have that, you have to go to F3 and you can see the coordinates here, 461 and 189. And then you can measure the distance of these just based off of those. So as you can see, my distance is 189 minus -54, which is 243. Now, since it moves over 8 blocks every time, you just need to divide that distance number by 8 and you get the amount of blocks that you need to put in. So for me, I need 30.37. But obviously I want to go the full distance, so I have to put in at least 31. I'm going to put in 32 just in case I messed up somewhere. But again, if you have around 240 blocks, you can do 32 or 35, and that should be enough. Obviously, if it doesn't go all the way, you can just add another block or 2 or 3, and it should go all the way. After that, you're going to put a comparator down here with a block, a redstone torch, and a redstone repeater here. Real quick, I forgot just one thing. This repeater that connects back up here needs to be on 4 ticks. Before I had it at 1, this will not work. Put it to 4 ticks all the way back like you see here. Then I think it's best if we head back over here and finish this repeating circuit. All we need to do is place a block here, right in front of this 15-second pulse repeater, a piston 1 block away facing towards it so that when it's powered, it will be connected like this. And then all we need to do here is put a piston, a redstone block, and, well, if I can do it, another piston right here. So that if this is powered, this will no longer be. Once you have the setup like this, I need a block here with a redstone torch. And then all we need to do is connect up this repeater with this torch. So now, if this repeater's on, this piston will be off. Next, we're going to need to put a block here with a target block next to it, a redstone torch on the target block, and a redstone dust here. Then we're going to put 2 redstone dust and a pulse extender here. This is the time it takes for the machine to come all the way back. I would just put this on, 2 minutes to be safe? Obviously, you can probably reduce it to about 1 minute or 60 seconds, and it should come all the way back. But if you are working with a lower rotation speed than 256, I would put it at 2 minutes just to be safe. After that, we're going to put a redstone link here with a gantry shaft in the blue, and we're going to put one more block here with a redstone link and a piston here. This is a great time to add, I guess, this other connector to the redstone link. We're going to put another redstone link here, a piston, and put this in receive mode. This will make it so that it actually repeats the circuit every time, and eventually, when this runs out of items in the dropper, this will get powered again. Next, we're going to put a redstone dust here and put a pulse repeater right here. It has to be on the same delay as this one, so I'm going to put it to 1 minute since these are now the same. Next, we're going to put another pulse repeater here and on 5 seconds. And then we're going to put a pulse extender right here on 8 seconds. This will go into a block with a redstone link on it. This one should have the sequential gear shift here in the red square. And then for the final little bit, we're going to put a pulse repeater here on 9 seconds with a redstone link and a button in the red, which should match up with this redstone link here. The final thing we need to add is kind of the whole thing that makes the fully automated thing work. So what we're going to need to do is grab another target block, put a redstone torch on top of it with a block there and a redstone link here. We then need to put a clutch in the red square there, and this should correspond with this redstone link here. We then need a redstone line and 4 redstone links here, all on receive mode. We then need a gantry shaft here, and we need a sequential gear shift and a gear shift here. So those are the 4 that we need, and this will just make it so that when nothing is running, these gantry shafts are currently turned off. The final thing that we need to do is send this whole structure up to the top so that it can work its way down. The reason for this is in case there are gravity blocks like gravel and stuff that are 1 block above the block that you mine. So let's say this is going to mine this target block and there's red sand here. If it does, it will mine it, it'll fall, and in case there's ground here, it'll fall on this block once this is already passed, preventing it from coming back and breaking the machine. So this is an easy addition. We just need to add a redstone link here with a gear shift up in the red, like so. And then we literally just need to send this bad boy all the way to the top. To do this, all we have to do is power the gear shift here, and that will send it all the way up into the sky. There we go. And when we break that, it'll stop and float there. The last thing we need to do is make sure the power is coming in the counterclockwise direction. You see up top here is clockwise. Make sure it is counterclockwise. And now all that we have to do is run it. Down at the bottom here, if you press this button, it should start going back and forth and eventually mine down the entire mountain. For the rest of this video, it's going to be a time lapse of me tearing down this mountain. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully this does you well in your own survival create mod series. And I'll see y'all in the next video.